Welcome back to the Den. I'm Tobin. Let's talk about Elysian Soap Company and the fragrances that Shannon is making. Something that's super cool about Elysian and something that stood out immediately for me is that not only, well, really, she wasn't a soap maker until recently. Shannon's background is in perfumery, and so she is a perfumer, and she takes individual fragrances, oils, and puts them together and creates a fragrance. She does not buy her fragrances from a third party and then put them in her soap. She's actually making the soap, blending the fragrances, and then putting them into her soap, creating fragrances, not just buying fragrances. And when I think about it, some of my favorite soap artisans today are also perfumers, and it's something I didn't give a whole lot of thought to until recently. Let me thank Ruben, the enabled shaver. Ruben, a while back, sent me the 5 sample pack from Elysian as a gift. Thank you, Ruben. I fell in love with it. My wife really enjoyed Nova, so I bought my wife the full-size bottle of Nova for Christmas. And I picked up for myself the full-size bottles of Terra, Lyra, and Titan. The only 2 full-size bottles I don't have yet is Alexandria and Juno, and I do intend to buy both of those. Alexandria is a banger, and I was so surprised when I first got it. Alexandria, the sample, is a gift compliments of Shannon. She sent that to me when I bought the 4 full-size bottles. When I reached out to Shannon to talk to her about doing this review, something I like to ask artisans and people like herself is their inspiration behind certain fragrances. And so when I asked her, she also, I didn't know until, I don't think I knew until I was talking with her, but she's also a bit of an artist, like sketches. She sent me a picture of a sketch. I'll put that right up there. And she said that she knew with her newest fragrance that she wanted it to be sexy, classic, and sophisticated, her words. And that she wanted it to feature black agar wood, commonly known as oud. And she said that an oud base proved difficult more than she had anticipated, and it didn't quite come together until she added the spices and the peony. Then, when she added the apricot, and I don't have some on the back of my hand, I do not pick out the fragrance of apricot. That's one of the mind-blowing things for me still to this day with perfumers. Within the industry, they call it a nose. The person behind the fragrance that's making it is called the nose. Some people take offense to it. No offense is meant, Shannon, if you take it as so. But I don't pick up any apricot. Beautifully blended fragrance. But when she added the apricot, she felt like she was taken to an exotic place like Alexandria, and that's where the name ended up coming from. If you take a look at the name of her fragrances, they're either constellations, like Lyra. She even has the constellation of Lyra on the bottle there. Or there's some type of like Imperial Rome time frame names like Titan. I love some of her names like Terra. That's another name for the earth, right? Let's get into this. Alexandria is fantastic. When I first sprayed it on the very first time, I was like, the top notes, I was like, Then holy moly. Let's go through the notes. Italian citrus, pink pepper, apricot, peony, papyrus, oud, and musk. Oh, so damn good. A lot of times Italian citruses, I don't know exactly what she's using under the label of Italian citrus, but clementines, oranges, mandarins, lemons, bergamot. Italy is known for growing citrus. I have a feeling it's like lime, bergamot, orange. Don't know, didn't ask. She has Italian citrus listed, and I rarely ask questions when I see something like that. She'll probably tell you if you reach out to her. She's very accessible on Instagram. The pink pepper. So the top notes I'm past that on my hand here, but the top notes, you immediately get that Italian citrus. It's great. It's top-notch fragrances that she's using, and it shines through in that Italian citrus. I don't know if you've ever smelled cheap fragrance oils where people are trying to pull off citrus or Italian citruses. No. The pink pepper comes rolling in with this spicy floral note, almost herbal. You almost get a rosy nuance from it. As we make our way into the apricot, what I think the apricot is doing, because like I said, I don't pick out apricot, but what I do pick out is, I'm starting to get into it now, I believe, lush and sweet, like the fruit is. Very, very, the word that's coming to mind is extinct, but that's not the word. It'll come to me. It's very something. Yep. And then we roll into the peony, or peonies is plural, and that's bringing us into more of a sweet, coming with the rosy sweetness of the apricot, and more kind of a spice nuance. Right now on the back of my hand, I have the most pleasant fragrance. All of them are listed as unisex. I can wear all of them. My wife really took to Nova, and this is where body chemistry comes in, because while she and I were both wearing Nova, the sample, it did smell different. Even not a lot, but there was differences to it. Even though we put them both on at the same time and we put them on the same areas. We actually did that a couple of days in a row during our Christmas vacation that we've been enjoying here together. Papyrus. All of them are unisex. This is unisex, that's what I was saying, right? Gentlemen, any of these can be worn. And I really think that even Titan and Terra are going to be great on a lady. Let's get back into this, though, before I out into there. Cosmos. Papyrus is an aromatic, woody, earthy, spicy fragrance. So you can see we got this citrus, sweet, spicy, herbal coming at you. And then the oud really balances out and grounds the fragrance. Not sure, the musk, it's in there, and it's one of the things that helps make this, I don't want to say masculine, because I just said that they were unisex, and they really are. But for me, I believe it's that oud and the musk that just makes me want to wear this and wear it a lot. And I've only had this a couple of weeks, and I can't really see, but only had a couple of weeks, and I've already used about half the bottle. Alexandria is absolutely fantastic. If any of these scent notes tickle your fancy, you're going to love it. I highly recommend grabbing at least a sample from Elysian. And if you've never tried any of her fragrances, the 5-pack that Ruben gave me, thank you again, sir, it's one hell of a deal. One hell of a deal. Next, let's get into the Lyra. Lyra, or Lyra. While it has a shorter scent profile, it is no less complicated than Alexandria. And that's because of the way that Shannon has put this together. She has it listed as jasmine, vanilla, and patchouli, but she's also using 2 different types of jasmine, and there's a white musk to this. It has a floral opening that's from the jasmine, but one thing with jasmine, all her fragrances are so good, you guys. Jasmine is rich, sweet, fruity, sensual, and has a slight animalic edge to it. I don't know a whole lot about I'll put the 2 different types of jasmine that she's using right up here. I don't want to get them wrong, but it's known as like poet's jasmine when you put them together. And I don't quite understand how they work, and this is where it comes in, and perfumists who make soap really have an edge over people who just make soap. And it shines through in stuff like this. The vanilla brings us into a warm and soft nuance of wood. Slight powdery. I have all three different fragrances on me right now. Patchouli is woody, earthy, and dark, and I really feel like it's coming in and grounding and just tying this all neatly together with a bow. White musk is described as clean, fresh, and crisp, but it still has like that animalicness to it. Animalicness, is that a word? Animalisticness to it. But it brings with it, it's not, because there's a few different types of all these things, right? It gets so complicated, and I don't want to flood it too much. The animalicness to this, it is lighter, crisper, and that's one of the things that helps to round this out into like a unisex fragrance. This is easily my favorite out of all six. I love this fragrance. It's the first one I fell in love with. I think it's the second one I wore. And while I've worn all these now several times, and you just look at the sample bottles, I haven't even used any out of my full size bottle yet. I've had it for a week now or so. I've still just been using my sample bottles. Lyra is so well blended, and I'm going to continue to beat the crap out of this analogy because I love the analogy of an orchestra. Everyone is just playing together. This is so perfectly blended in these fragrances and stuff like this. I wouldn't say that people like Shannon are showing off, but their knowledge and their skill is on full display. And before Ruben sent me these samples, all I knew of Shannon was mostly, her gourmand, because a lot of her soap fragrances are gourmand, and then Luna and Soul, which are just so freaking good. But I'd never experienced any of her fragrances until the last month or so. They're so complex and so perfectly done. That's just like Insano. I keep looking around the corner for like Captain Insano. You know that guy? That guy. Titan. Titan's so good. So good. Ginger, bergamot, white florals. And I haven't asked her what the white florals are just white florals, which I always respect that whenever I see that an artist has put something up there like that. It sometimes means that they don't want you to know. They just want what was actually in it. It's creating that fragrance because sometimes proprietary. They don't want to put all their cards on the table, and that's why they don't have to legally. So white floral, I can only guess all day long what she's using in there. My guesses would probably be wrong. Ginger, bergamot, also known as the Prince of Citrus, white floral, musk, ambergris. And she has musk and ambergris listed. So ambergris is a musk, essentially. I just sprayed a little bit on the back of my wrist, even though I have some over here. The ginger, light and kind of lemony. Zingy. It's like a zinger. Deep, spicy wood notes that you can get from ginger. But from this, I'm getting like a light, lemony ginger. And I think, maybe that lemony that I'm picking up is because the Prince of Citrus, the bergamot, is coming in behind it. And we get into the white florals. And white florals are generally made with, I don't know what's actually in it. White florals are generally made of gardenia, lily of the valley, jasmine, rose, orange blossom, and there's others. Whatever it is, it comes in and it takes this citrusy fragrance, brings it down a little bit, and from there, it brings us into the musk. And so you get this citrus floral character to it. But then the musk and the ambergris come in and really make this an amazing unisex fragrance. I can't get enough of any of these fragrances. Alexandria, Titan, Lyra and Titan. You guys, like for real, for I think it's $36, you can get, what are these, 5 or 10 milliliter bottles? They're huge. For $36, you can get 5 of her samples. It's a steal at that price. Thankfully, Ruben, thank you again. I didn't pay anything for it. It was a gift from another wet shaver. That's how much he believes in the product, is that he sent me a brand new set because he knew I was going to love it. And I'm telling you right now, if you take a look at some of the other reviews that are out there, and if you take a good look at the sales page that she has, you can't go wrong. You really can't. Shannon is a perfumer, and she is bringing to the game her background. Anybody can make soap, like I said before. Like at the end of the day, anybody can make soap. Just like anybody can make cookies and anybody can make lasagna. But I can't make cookies, nor can I make lasagna like my wife can. Would it be edible? Yeah. Would it be pretty? Nope. Probably not. I can do scrambled eggs, but then they're not fluffy like my wife's are. My wife will make scrambled eggs that looks like you just went to like some 5-star restaurant. My scrambled eggs look more like something from McDonald's that's 3 days old. And I think that can be said with our wet shaving hobby and with the fragrance world. Hope this has been helpful. I hope I did a good job. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I will do the other 3 fragrances, which are Terra, Nova, and Juno. They're all unisex. They're all great. I will be wearing 5 of them, and my wife will be wearing Nova. She actually has her eye on a few of these, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they disappear. It happens. I hope you all had a great Christmas. I want to wish you all a happy new year. It's the little big things. Keep everything in perspective. 2022 is out of here. 23 is coming. Say la vive. Take care.